everyone, it's Jess here from the Scrappy Sisters, and thank you for joining me for my final Kitaholic Kits design team layout for this month. So this time round I cut one of our exclusive cut files that from the Neat and Crafty exclusive ones that Anita designs for us. And as you can see, I cut out the super gorgeous butterflies, and I've decided I'm not going to back them. I'm going to leave them almost like an underlay in the background. So I want to be able to see this gorgeous metallic mixed media coming through. So I chose the gunmetal first. And as you can see, I'm just doing some streaks across the top right-hand corner. I'm just going to do these 4 little streaks here, and they sort of start off nice and thick paint and wear out. The paint wears out by the time it gets to the other side. And then I'm going to do that again down in the bottom left-hand corner, but on a little bit of a smaller scale, not quite as big and grand down here. And I really love the look. I feel like this is something that has been around for a little while now, this kind of blacked streaked background. I think Paige Evans has done it. It's quite a bit of a popular background technique, but I haven't really given it a try yet, so I wanted to do that. So I've done my 4 other stripes down in the bottom left, but as I said, just a little bit smaller, not quite as long. Once I've gone ahead and done that with the gunmetal, I just leave that on my desk and I go and wash my brush, and I get the champagne gold ready. I don't do anything else to get the gunmetal to dry, so it is still a little bit wet, but I wanted that to happen. And I actually want it to be wet because when I'm scraping on this next layer of gold, I wanted to sort of smooth in a little bit with the gunmetal. I don't want as much gold. I definitely want to still be able to see that gunmetal showing underneath. And I just want the gold to be more like a highlight on top. And I'm really pleased with the way this smooths on and how it looks together. I possibly could have watered down the the gold just a tiny bit, just to have the gold even more translucent, so the gunmetal would be even stronger underneath. But I am really happy with the way that looks. So then I'm going to take my cut files and I'm going to glue them just as you can see them sitting there. So a little bit hanging over the edge and a little bit mostly on the page. So I'm going to work in the bottom left-hand corner first. So I've glued on my cut file just literally in the center. I really want the wings to still sort of pop up and be off the page. I don't want it all like completely secured down flat. I matted my photograph, and I'm now just going to put a little bit of embellishments around the photo. So as you can see, I've got the little flower, the rainbow, and one of the fabric hearts. Couldn't think of the word then. Those rainbows I have fussy cut from the pattern paper. So just going ahead, I'm also using a piece of flare, but because I've stuck my photo up on foam, the flare needs to be stuck up on foam as well. So the flare is going to end up being quite chunky on this layout, which is not quite the look I was going for. I wanted it to be a little bit more flat than this, but I really wanted to include it, so that's okay. I'm just going to roll with it and keep the flare up that little bit higher. Just covering that fabric in glue just so I know it's going to stick and hold and stay in one place. Then I'm going to work on the top butterfly. Oh, mustn't forget this little moth butterfly here. I actually fussy cut him off the pattern paper as well, and because I fussy cut it and I fussy cut it flush, I didn't leave a ring of white around the edge of the butterfly. I needed to chop off the antennae, which is a little bit strange, I know, but when you're fussy cutting and you're not leaving any white space, I think the antennae look almost worse because they're so fiddly, and my cutting is not neat enough for that. So again, gluing on the butterfly, again just in the center. I also went ahead and pre-matted my photos and popped those up on foam. Now I'm going to pop up this word together and pop it onto my page. And there is going to be more to my heading than that. I'll get the pink fresh thickers right at the end and add my second word. So now I'm just going to pop on a little bit of flower ephemera, and it's going to go up in the top left-hand corner here that you can see of my photo. As you can see with these wedding photos, one of the two of us indulged in a little bit more of the beverage package than the other. In fact, I think I literally had maybe 1, if not 2 glasses of champagne in the entire night of my wedding. I just didn't need it or didn't have time for it. Both probably were probably the options. I was busy mingling and dancing and taking photo booth photos and just having a blast that I just didn't have a drink in my hand much at all. My husband, on the other hand, I think managed to indulge enough for the both of us. But he enjoyed himself, saying goodbye to his single days for the last time. So that's hence this little, there was actually more than 2 photos, but these were the best 2. This little series of photo booth photos, if you can see in the bottom one, I'm carrying a whiteboard and I've literally written what have I done on it, just for a little bit of a laugh. So cutting off the excess cut file that hangs over the edge here. I know it's a little bit of a shame to lose it, but because I didn't include the entire cut file on the page and it is hanging off the edge, I do need to cut it off in order for it to fit in a page protector. And then I am almost done. So I've got out my Heidi Swap Color Shine, but I do need to go ahead and do a title as well. So I'm going to splash on some gold. I'm almost all out of gold, so the splashes are super tiny. So splashing on some super tiny splitters, and then I'm going to do a title, and I'm also going to make a title as well. So I'm so close to being finished, and I'm super happy with the way this is looking. So I decide it needs a few more love hearts because, you know, you can never have too many love hearts. So I'm going to pop on a couple of those in both of my embellishment clusters, just because I like them. And then once they are down, I will go ahead and get the Pink Fresh thickers and just pop those on to finish off my title. And then my last but not least, I'm going to put a tiny word phrase underneath my stickers, and I am done. So here is my finished layout. I hope you have enjoyed this process. I hope I have inspired you to get out your mixed media, maybe get out a cut file. Even a doily would work really well in place of this cut file that I'm using. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much and have a really happy scrappy week. Thanks everyone, and I'll see you next time.